Good afternoon. A star, a mirage, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. So I've been talking about this verse from one of the sutras, the Vajra Cutter Sutra, also known as the Diamond Sutra, for a few months now. So it contains 9 different similes for emptiness. So the Buddha said, emptiness is the true nature of things, but it's difficult. It's not something we can see. It's not, an easy phenomena to understand. So the Buddha used these 9 different similes of things that we do experience in our daily life that can help us get more of an understanding of emptiness. So we've done the first 6, and today I'll talk about the 7th, which is a dream, which is a great example. I love this one. So we all have experiences of dreams almost every night. We go to sleep and our mind goes into dream mode. All these different things appearing, different things happening, and sometimes they're wonderful things, sometimes they're sad things, sometimes they're even frightening things. So while we're asleep and dreaming, most people aren't aware of that. We don't have this awareness that we're just dreaming, but whatever appears very real. And we respond emotionally. We feel happy about the wonderful things, sad about the unpleasant things, and maybe even fear. And we can still feel these emotions when we wake up. Right? We still feel kind of this happy glow after a nice dream, or we may feel terrified about a scary dream. We might even wake up screaming. Right? But after a few moments, then our mind transitions to the waking mode. We find ourselves in our bed, in our bedroom, and all the things happening in the dream disappear, become just a memory. And our emotions change too. If we were dreaming of a monster or a psychopath chasing us and trying to kill us, and we felt absolutely terrified, then there's this great sense of relief that, that was just a dream. Thank goodness. Or if we'd been dreaming that we were living in a $1 million mansion with servants and every possible wonderful luxurious thing, we wake up feeling happy and then realize, that was just a dream. Shucks. So disappointment. So the Buddha said that the things that we experience, even in our waking life, are similar to dreams. Now note, similar, like dreams, not exactly the same as dreams. That's important. So in what way are they similar? Well, let's just take our own kind of example, our own experiences. Certain people we see, they appear to us maybe unattractive or unlikable or even bad. And we tend to believe the person is really like that from their own side, objectively, out there, inherently. And we respond emotionally to that. We feel, ew, I don't like that person. I want to stay away from them. We may even have strong aversion, anger, or hatred. But another person appears really attractive and wonderful and likable. And again, we believe they're really like that, somehow permanently, solidly from their own side, objectively. And then we usually get attached to that person. We feel, I want to be close to that person. I want to be around them as much as possible. And I want them to always be there and never disappear, never change, always be just like that. That sound familiar? So this is our experience as ordinary people, ordinary beings who haven't realized emptiness. And Buddha said this is how we get ourselves into trouble, because we get caught up in these emotions, either aversion or attachment, and then we act out these emotions, we create karma, and we perpetuate our circling in cyclic existence, samsara, and are unable to attain genuine peace and happiness, liberation, enlightenment, and so on. So Buddha's trying to get us out of this situation by helping us realize emptiness. So how would these people appear to someone who has realized emptiness, especially like an Arya Bodhisattva? So that's a Bodhisattva, someone who has this great compassion, great heart, concern for all living beings, wants to become enlightened to help all living beings, and has realized emptiness. So I'm not such a person, so I can't say from my experience, but I can make a guess. So my guess is that such a person, when they're looking at, these people that we either like or dislike, they would simply see a person who's made up of body and mind, a bunch of physical parts, atoms and cells and molecules and so on, and mind, the stream of ever-changing experiences, thoughts and emotions and perceptions and so on. So we call this, in Buddhism we use the term aggregates, 5 aggregates. That's what makes up a person. But a simple way is just to say body and mind, physical and mental components. So they would just see this mass of physical and mental components conditioned by countless factors, causes and conditions that condition the person to be the way they are, how they appear, their physical appearance, their personality, their behavior. So the way they are is conditioned by all these other factors. And also they're changing every moment. There's nothing permanent, fixed, or solid anywhere in that person. Every moment, every tiny nanosecond, they're changing. And also this person is devoid of a real, solid, permanent, inherently existing self. Something we could find when we search for it among all those parts. Something we can point to and say, that is the person right there. So they know, they've done it, they've tried. They've tried to find that fixed, solid, permanent person among all of those physical and mental components, and they didn't find it. So they know such a thing doesn't exist, such a person doesn't exist. They're empty of that. That's the meaning of understanding emptiness. And seeing the person in that way, they would not react emotionally as we do, with either attachment or aversion. They wouldn't grasp at them and cling to them as being inherently wonderful or inherently terrible or bad. And instead, especially since they're a bodhisattva, they've been training their minds in compassion and loving kindness for a long, long time. So they would feel nothing but compassion and loving kindness towards this person and want to help them. They would see this person and it would increase or enhance or trigger their aspiration to become a fully enlightened Buddha, to be able to help that person and every other living being become enlightened as well. So that way of seeing people is quite different than our usual way of seeing them. So when the Buddha said that things are like a dream, that doesn't mean they don't exist at all. Persons, material things, and events do exist, but they just don't exist in the very real, solid, fixed way that they normally appear to us. And we can get a sense of this if we just look at our own experiences. Say if you take a particular person, a certain person that you know, you might sometimes have very positive, warm feelings towards that person. Just seeing them makes you feel so happy and you just want to be around them as much as possible. But at another point in time, that very same person, you might feel just the opposite. You might feel annoyed, irritated. It could be you're in a bad mood or they did something you didn't like. And you just want to get away from them. You can't stand looking at them or hearing their voice. Have you ever had that experience? It's the same person. I mean, of course, they do change. Everything is changing all the time, but not so drastically as to provoke such reaction. So it's mainly our own mind. It's our mind that has changed, the way they appear to our mind because of what's going on in our own mind. That's the main thing. And we heard a similar example of this morning during our stand-up meeting. One of the community members mentioned how sometimes looking at the environment around here, which is actually really beautiful. We have mountains and trees and flowers and sky and clouds. It's gorgeous. But sometimes looking at this environment, everything looks drab and dreary and gloomy, and there's no joy, no sense of joy at all. But at another time, even the same day, everything looks beautiful and you feel great joy. So I think, again, we've had that kind of experience. We're looking at the same objects or same view, same environment, but they appear very different to us, and we respond emotionally in a very different way. So this shows that what we see, what appears to us, is not so real as it appears, existing objectively out there from its own side, but dependent on many, many different factors, including our own state of mind. So it's similar to the things appearing to us in our dreams. So contemplating this can be very helpful, especially when we're feeling strong emotions, either attachment or fear or aversion or depression. Good to take a step back from how things appear to us and ask ourselves, do things really exist the way they appear? Is that person or that object or that place really like that in the way it appears to me? Or is it affected by my own state of mind? Because if it really did exist that way, it would always appear in the same way to us. And is that the case? So I hope this is helpful. This example of the dream is used many times by the Buddha, and you find it also in many Buddhist texts, Nagarjuna, Shantideva, Chandrakirti, and so on. So it's a very helpful analogy for how things are not quite as they appear to us. Thank you.